Um, selling in a respectful way on LinkedIn, Brynne, we're all hit by endless DMs from people who've just connected to us, or worse still, emails from people we're not connected to, but we've got an open profile, so they think that means they can just fire their messages at us. What are some ways that you would recommend people go about selling that is more professional, more respectful, more likely to get results?
So I really do appreciate that question very much, because we have all been victims of connect and pitch. So I love this. If the folks can put in chat, if you are victimized at least once a week with a connect and pitch where someone's trying to sell you, put in a 1. If it's once a month, put in a 2. If you've never been a victim, put it in a 3. I'm just curious, just stick that into chat. 1 if you're getting at least one of these messages. And I don't see them coming in. Usually these come in like droves, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, they're coming in the question box rather than the chat box.
Oh, rather than chat. Okay.
You got ones coming through.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay, great. Cool. So ones, all ones. Yes. So why would we be the victimizer? But we do, because we're in sales, so we don't realize. And this is going back to, what do they want to consume? Not what do we want to tell them? And the connect, and I'd love to introduce my company and products and services to you. Yeah, that's what you want. That's not what I want. So the first thing is respect the inbox. Treat the person on the other side of the message the same way you would if they were on the other side of the table. This means you want to have a conversation. Slow down your outreach. It will speed up your outcome, right? So there's a mindset first of, if we want to start trust-based conversations without being salesy, we have to be trustworthy. We can't connect and pitch. We've got to be a resource. And so one of the things we say all the time, and I used to, by the way, have a Post-it note for years on my monitor that said, detach from what the prospect is worth to you and attach to what you are worth to the prospect. When we go at this, like, this is a lead and I want to sell them, we will lose 99.99999% of the time. When we come at this as we are a trusted resource, we become magnets. We start to truly attract the right people. But some of it, like, I've had colleagues in the world, mastermind, say, I'm so tired of people saying, I want to pick your brain. I charge for that. I hate to tell you this, you don't have to give them an awful lot of time, but those pick the brain people may become clients someday or referral people someday. Now, you may not like that, but you can reach out and say, hey, I've got some ideas for you. I'm happy to share them. If you have any other questions, let me know. I've got lots of really coaching services that might be able to help you. But answer that first question. Don't resent it. They're coming to you because you're a resource. I don't know how I got off on this, but excuse me. I went off on this crazy tangent. But ultimately, it's the mindset, right? It's about being of service. It's about being a resource. Your ultimate question is, how do you sell without being salesy, really, right? How do you respect them? And really, it's stop looking at them as a lead and look at them as a human being that you may be able to help.
I had the most outrageous experience in the last weeks, Brynne, where someone pitched to me a report that they had just produced, and they were sending a summary, and then you could pay to get the full thing. Okay, but then I replied back to them, because actually it was in one of the main sectors that we serve, so there were things we could potentially have done together in partnership that could have been interesting. So I messaged the person back and said, might be worth us having a conversation here around what we might be able to do. And I got a message back that said, I'm sorry, I'm only able to spend time with people on a chargeable basis, so that will be
That's
X
exactly the
per hour.
problem.
And I was like, you pitched me in the first place. This, I've tried to turn your cold pitch to me into something that's a conversation, and you've just doubled down on pitching me. So yeah, that was the end of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a turnoff, and think even you would never even want to refer them because that's how they would treat your clients,
Exactly.
right? It's awful, and a lot of this is so some of it is ego. I'm worth more. My time is worth more than yours, and that's really disappointing. The other piece of this is someone is teaching them this. There are companies out there that are teaching, I'm just popping this up to the top of your email. You must be very busy because you didn't respond to my last email. People are teaching this. It is so offensive. I ignored your first email because I wasn't interested. If you want to do something that brings me value because I ignored that first email, great. And there are lots of ways to bring me value. But popping something up to the top of my email that I already ignored is, I mean, it's worth blocking. And in LinkedIn, even reporting as spam, in my mind. It's just enough. Like, I don't want to be campaigned. So let me be real clear. I have an email list with 100,000 people opted into my email list over the last 10 years. Great. They opted in to be campaigned, right? They sign up, they get my newsletter, I have some drip campaigns. If you download an ebook, there's an expectation there. It doesn't feel bait and switched. You're buying my ebook with your email, and that's going to happen. But if you are pretending that this is personal, for example, I looked at your profile and I'm really impressed with all the things that you and your company are doing. And then I look, and nobody looked at my profile from that company. I know how to check because I know how to look. So I'll respond, oh, thank you. What impressed you? And then I get, thank you for your interest, right? It's all automated. But you have set it out to pretend that it was personal. And for me, that's the worst thing you could do. If it's very clear that I opted into an automated something, I think that's great. But if you're going to scrape information from my profile to make it look like you looked at my profile and then you didn't, then you're starting your relationship off in a lie. Who buys from people that lie to them? Very few. That's just my feeling.
Yeah. Adding to what you were just saying there, I saw some research, I forget who it was that put it out, but it was by the LinkedIn team about the effectiveness of emails for recruiters. And they were very explicit. If a candidate hasn't responded to you first approaching them about a job, don't just send them a chaser. Send them a follow-up email that gives them some new information about why that position could be interesting to them, because then you've not just chased, you've added a new dimension to the conversation. So your sales angle on that is, mirrors it exactly, doesn't it?
Yay, I love when I align with LinkedIn. So, yeah,
Brilliant.
that's awesome.